Hey everybody. Guess I should move this microphone over closer. How are you guys? We're doing it a little differently today. Number one, I'm live. I'm from IBMA, and so I'm kind of tucked in the back here. Over here's the food if you need anything. Back there's some guys playing. But we're in the main, maybe I can move the camera here in a minute. We're in the back. The Acoustic shop is streaming up here. So anyway, tell me where you guys are from and what you guys are up to. And yeah, I'm going to hang on here until people get here. I don't even know if this is going to work because I'm on just the conference center Wi-Fi. So there also might be a delay as well. I'm using different software today, hopefully to get better resolution. So you can see the whites of my eyes. Oh, Maximilian's here. So the chat is a little different today. And it might be moving forward. I'm moving away from the software that I used before. So it might be harder to get me to see a chat. So think about doing super chats if you want. If you have a burning question, yeah, those are easier for me to see. But signing in from Deutschland. What? Deutschland, Germany. People all over. So yeah, so I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm at the International Bluegrass Music Association show. There's concerts all over, but Hurricane Ian has entered the chat. Showed up this morning. It's cold, it's rainy, and it's going to rain a lot the rest of today into tomorrow. But, yeah. Baldwin, Michigan. Moin, moin. I don't know what that means. Moin, moin. Must be some German thing. But, yes. So, I can't tell you what I saw. But I saw a thing that I can't tell you. But it's been fun. Lots of people are walking by, so you might get... Jake Eddy was just walking around over here. If I see anybody walk by, I'm a bit tucked in the back because I don't want to be in the way of people. But I do have a couple things to talk about, and you can ask me questions. There's a storm on the way. Yeah, a storm is coming. So, yes, it means like, hey, hey, moin, moin. Okay, that's good. Raka, raka. That means like you're being too loud in Arabic. But I've been walking around today. Got to meet Bob Minner. He's been one of my guitar heroes for a long time. Got to meet him yesterday. Ooh, hold on. I think I'm streaming from the wrong camera. Let me see. No, that's the right camera. Okay. All right. Confusing because the light is on the computer camera. But okay, so let me get this out of the way, and there we go. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Have you ever been to a bluegrass show? What's your thought on bluegrass? I don't know. I've spent 2 days here feeling not like an imposter. I don't feel like an imposter, but I feel like everyone has a shared history that I don't know about. And I've tried to use it to my advantage. Like a lot of times, people are like, "Oh, do you know who that is?" I'm like, "Nope, don't know." And they're like, "Oh, that's old Dutchy Two Shoes. He played on Bill Monroe's record." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I don't know. I just don't know a lot of people. So, hello from Minnesota. Yeah. So Stan from Minnesota. What would be a good beater acoustic guitar to travel? A good guitar to travel. Like a Yamaha, like an FG, 180, 360, 380, any of those. You can get them for a couple $100. They would sound good. They would play well. Also, a Martin, an X series would be pretty good for that. You got lots of choices. Good guitars are pretty affordable. You can get a good guitar for $200. It's hard to get a great guitar under $1,000. But so, there's another question. So it's, Maximilian says, what's going to happen with your new D35? So excited. I'm very excited about that guitar. Actually, it's been really fun. Lots of people who recognize me and know me walking around the show here, that's the first thing they're asking is, what am I going to do with my D35? And did I end up buying it? Because I haven't finished editing or exported the video of me actually buying it and shipping it back. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know. So, anyway. So the big thing to kind of pay attention to with, I don't know, that was like every now and then my brain has to buffer and I have to figure out what I'm going to say next, and I'll just have these little turnaround phrases. So the real thing you need to know is really I'm just thinking while I'm saying that. So the D35 is with me. It made it back to Harrisonburg last week. It left New Orleans, Wednesday a week ago, and it got to Virginia by Tuesday. And by that time, it showed up to me. I opened it up. I filmed all of that, and that's what was the close of the video, because the way I ended the video was me throwing a box out of frame. Throwing a box. It was just an empty box. Didn't have a guitar, but it made it look like I just threw it at the UPS store, and then they threw it back to me. When in reality, I dropped it off at a UPS store, packed it up very carefully. But I left it in tune. That's a thing that I've done in the last couple of years. I've left guitars at full tune when I send them. So, so it's back with me. It needs a neck reset. It's a great guitar. I didn't realize how clean it was. It's kind of like this situation. I'll move the camera a little bit so you can see what's going on here, and then I'll put it back. So over there is like the main chunk of the show, and then back behind here, there's like a band playing just behind the curtain here. And, oh boy, Joby Tripod, why did I mess with you? It's okay. We're good. We're good. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Guys, I've heard Rocky Top 74 times today. But, okay. So, down there's the majority of the show. Pre-war guitars is over on this side. I'll just talk about stuff going through the show, and then if you have questions, let me know along the way. Hey, Broken and Free. Hey, from Arkansas. And Maximilian, so freaking cool. It's a really cool guitar. Oh, camera got wonky. Hang on. Okay. Are you level? You cool? You gonna stay calm? But let me see. So, pre-war guitars. I guess I'll start from what I came in, and the first thing you see is the Chapman shop. So the Acoustic shop, and then they're filming stuff for their TV show. They're live streaming. I've never met anyone that's working as hard at the content creation game as those guys. Fellas, I'm doing my live show. So, can I show them your jacket?
Yeah.
Look at this jacket.
Hey, y'all.
So, yeah. I'm just kind of walking them through the show from what we saw here.
There's so much to see.
I know. Yeah, and like Collings just set up today, and a couple people just set up.
That's what check that out.
yeah. Bob Minner is over there. Do you know him? He's played for Tim McGraw forever, but he's an excellent player. So he was kind of a hero for me to meet.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Cool.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Hit the bell. Make sure you're here. But yeah, so when you come in, it's the Acoustic shop, and they've done such a cool thing. They call it the Ozark Music Shop. And so they've set it. Actually, the Ozark Music Shop is a TV show that they produce, I think, for CBS or some network. But they have basically, it's like a traveling guitar shop. It's like all these like wood, like walls and panels, and you have little alcoves. And so you have like all the Eastman and Bourgeois guitars. You have all the Firk guitars. So when you come in, on the very front of the store is the Firk and Eastman stuff. And then as you come in, there's a Gallagher alcove, and then there's some Laraves and some Atkin and Bourgeois. And then you go around, there's some more Bourgeois, there's some Thompsons in there. So it's a really cool setup. And then you keep coming, there's pre-war guitars over there, and they are launching the Norman Blake special guitars, which are super exciting. Have I told y'all my story about Norman Blake? So, years ago I was working in a guitar shop, and I was working there by myself. And that first couple of years I worked there, I was there by myself a lot. I think my boss just needed a break. He'd been there for 30 years, and he trusted me enough that he could kind of leave and let me kind of sit out for a while, or cover the shop, and then he would go do stuff. So anyway, one day I'm there by myself, and this old guy comes in. He's wearing overalls and big Coke bottle glasses, or just round glasses, and he comes in and he's like, hey, this is a cool little shop. Do you have any old any old slot heads? And so I found we had an old slot head Martin. I forget what it was. It probably was an 18. But we ended up, he pulled the guitar down and sat down, and he was an amazing player. And so immediately I asked him, I was like, hey, can you show me that? And I was just so curious. I wanted to learn how to play new guitar stuff. And so he sat there and showed me some stuff for maybe an hour, 45 minutes or an hour. We just kind of plunked around. He taught me a bunch of stuff. And I mean, keep in mind, I grew up listening to like 60s folk, and then I got into like punk rock bands, hardcore bands, metal bands. So at this point, I'm listening to mostly death metal and like thrash metal stuff. I was not listening to any old-timey, any bluegrass, any acoustic stuff. So it was just a super old, super nice older guy teaching me a bunch of guitar. And then he left, and he said, thanks for showing me around, and he headed out. About an hour later, my boss called me, and he said, I'm on the way in right now. Norman Blake is coming by. And I said, what? Like, who's that? And so he came in, and then no one showed up the rest of the afternoon. No one remarkable. Like, the normal folks showed up the rest of the day. And Warren was like, maybe he was there. Maybe he was here when we weren't. Did you leave at any point? I was like, no, I was. But there was a guy that came in. Like, he had overalls, had big round glasses, and kind of long hair. And Warren was like, that was Norman Blake. And then I realized, oh yeah, because there was a signed poster in the bathroom of like old playbills. And so Norman Blake came in and played guitar, and I had no idea who he was. Which that thing continues to happen. Like, because I'm just not in the bluegrass world. I mean, I guess this is the most I've like dabbled. I've dipped a toe into the bluegrass world. But yeah, so I ended up hanging out with Norman Blake for an afternoon. Didn't know it, but pre-War Guitars is launching. They're doing 12 limited 12 like D1s, dreadnoughts, 12 frets, bar frets. Really exceptional guitars. So I got to play 2 of those yesterday. And So Norman Blake, Joshua says, you said Slothead Martin, and I thought of him. Yeah. That's an excellent recipe for a guitar. 12 frets, slope shoulder, Addy tops, mahogany back and sides, and mahogany necks with a slot headstock. It just produces an excellent sounding guitar. Really fun, plays great. So Pre-War Guitars is doing awesome stuff. I got a bunch of video from them and a bunch of stuff. And then as you keep coming down, there's all kinds of stuff over on this side. These guys. And I'll do a giveaway. So I picked up one of these. Have you guys seen these? This is is it going to focus? The Picchini. I don't love the name of it, but I actually like the product. So what it is a little metal thing that, hang on, let's see if I can get it to focus. So it's a little metal pick holder that fits on the back of your phone. So I can put my Primetone in there, and so it just slides in really easily, and it stays there. Now I just put this on my phone today for the first time, but the guys from the Acoustic shop have had them for a while. So I actually have an extra one. I got one for me, and then one for you. So, what's a good trivia question? So, there you go. So it's a cool little thing. It's got some double-sided tape on the back, and it'll stick to your phone. Really cool product. Kind of unfortunate name. It's like that, Eargasm. Anyway, let me think of a good trivia question. What's the last year Martin did herringbones on D28s? First person to answer that wins this for free if you're in the U.S., and I'll mail this to you. So, what year did Martin stop doing herringbone on D28s? And first answer to that wins a Picchini. $1944, not quite. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Where'd it go? $1946. There it is. Jonathan Welsh, you've won other stuff, too. Jonathan Welsh is the winner chicken dinner. winter metal chastity belt. This looks like a chastity belt. Don't tell them I said that. They're good guys. They're right over here. Frazier says, Jeremy, you rekindled my love for acoustic guitars years ago, which drove me to find a Gem D28. Dad passed away. Oh my gosh. Dad passed away last week. James and Neil Young was his thing. Amazing how much love guitars bring. I'm so sorry for you losing your dad. That's really hard, man. I lost my mom when I was 20, and that's a while ago. That's 15 years ago. But I don't know, man. Kids need their dads. Men need their dads. And sounds like you had a good one. My mom loved Neil Young, and she, when I was learning to play guitar, she said, I will pay for guitar lessons if you learn how to play The Needle and the Damage Done by Neil Young. So, man, Frazier, I'm so sorry. It's good to remember. I think there's two ways to look at it, and then we'll get back to guitar stuff. I think there's one way to look at loss and suffering is to say, look at all the things that were robbed from me when death happened. And so that's to say, like, they didn't get to. So for me, my mom didn't get to meet my wife, didn't get to meet my kids, didn't see me graduate from college, didn't see me get married, didn't see me stop screwing up and stop wasting my life. She never saw me actually turn the corner and be a good adult. And that sucks. I've hated that. The other way to look at it is she set me up for that third act, for me to take responsibility of my life. So the other way is to look at all of the ways in which your life was great because you had them. You start making those I got statements. I got 20 years with my mom. I got to travel the country with her. I got to hear her stories. I got to know her. I got to be raised by her, and she still lives on in me, in the grace and mercy and kindness that just wells up in me. So much of who I am is because of her. So anyway, Frazier, I'm sorry, and I'll be praying for you and your dad. And man, that's a lot. Okay, so 1946, 1947, we're going to call it 46. Jonathan Welsh, you won. Send me an email to info@jeremysheppard.com. Jonathan, I think you've won something else before, but I'm going to get to mail you a Bikini. These are actually really, really cool. So anyway, cool little metal things. Now the other thing, the brand that makes this is called Dr. Herringbone, and they sent me another thing that I'm going to be making a video on, and so Frazier says, thank you, gents. It's been a rough time, but restringing the Martin this week and playing his favorite tunes makes it so much easier. He's an amazing man and 28. That's good, man. Tom, how are you doing, man? Tom in Florida. You all right? I mean, Tom's already, you're certified to be a, what? Hold on. I put in an ad. I thought I was closing a thing. So you might have just gotten an ad. I don't know how that works. But, so Dr. Herringbone, another thing they do is called the Tone Traveler. So this one, man, the packaging, they freaking nailed the packaging. So this is, listen for the section. So this is the business end of this thing is right here. And so this is, what do they call this? The Tone Traveler allows you to unlock the sound of the past by accelerating your instrument's journey through time. So this is a small USB-powered speaker that is made to hang on your guitar, and it will open up the tone of your guitar. So it comes with, in here is a tablet, and so you're able to play, basically it's a Bluetooth speaker, and you can just play prolonged resonant frequencies with your guitar. I have seen this on several instruments. I've been curious to try it. I know that I'm pretty sure it works. So I want to actually use this and show it. So they gave me one today instead of shipping it to me, which is super exciting. I love getting stuff. And so anyway, so there's a tablet in here, and there is, let's see, some other stuff. So here's the pamphlet for this. Now I can't give this one away because these are like $2.89, I think. So, but they also make the bikini. So the bikini's in there. But so this is its three main components. It's what do they call this? The Tone Traveler speaker clamp. So this is the speaker clamp. Then there's a control tablet, and then there's a broad spectrum audio speaker. I guess that's the speaker. And this is the clamp. So this is the metal housing, but basically it's made to like hook between the strings and then sit against the bridge pins and the saddle itself. So that's super exciting. I can't wait to get home and try this thing. Yeah. So the bikini's going to... Who was it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. You'll email me. Mark Hopkins is here. Marky Mark. What's the next one? Everyone probably calls you Marky Mark. What's the next most common like nickname someone's going to call you? Mark. Mark Hamill. Mark. I don't know. My brain is in free fall. Caleb Zimmerman's here. Hey, buddy. So when the herringbone stopped, that was when they started straight bracing. What do you mean straight bracing? Non-scalloped bracing, probably. They also rear shifted, forward shifted. I'm getting hazy. Many things changed in 1947. That's why most people say, that they like pre-war guitars, even though pre-war technically kind of goes to like 46, early 47. So, yeah. Is that the mandolin they had? Is that what they had at the mandolin at the acoustic shop? It is. So the Tone Traveler. Now there's also the Tone Right. This is like a comparable thing to the Tone Right. This is a little more. This is more specific. So you're able to pick whatever instrument you have on it, and then you're able to turn on the notes of those frequencies. So, like on a mandolin, you would do E, A, D, and G, and you would do the ones that line up with the same notes as the mandolin itself. On a guitar, you could play the E and the A, the E, A, and D. You could play all six. Basically, what this is it is like someone playing your guitar for you without wearing down the frets, without damaging the body, without sweating on the finish for days at a time. So it is able to just really accelerate the opening up of your instrument. And if you don't think acoustic guitars open up, they definitely do. My D35 years ago just went from sounding okay to sounding excellent in a few months when I let a friend borrow it. So Zach says, I find myself getting in ruts at times, but I also find myself becoming very engrossed in playing the guitar too. I'm not great, but it's something I always find myself going back to. It heals all. Dude, Zach, me too. I regularly beat myself up about not practicing. Like, I'm not a guitar player who will sit around and like really practice and work, put in the hours. I remember there was a guy I knew in college that every time I'd see him, he's like 8,912 hours. And he was keeping track of how many hours, and as if somehow at 10,000 hours he would be an expert guitar. I don't think he even plays guitar anymore. That's a Facebook search I'll do later, not on YouTube. But is Mitch still playing guitar? That's the question. So yeah. So how about this? Trying to think if I can do a giveaway of someone else's stuff down there. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Let's do one more. I got to figure out what's another good question? Okay. Let's do a trivia question that I know the answer to. What is the most sold acoustic guitar model ever? This is one that I didn't know. It makes total sense, but the changes for Herringbone were not related to the other changes. It had a great deal with losing German-produced herringbone inlay, which they stopped buying and used up by the end of the war. Wow, I didn't know that. So for Bluegrass, this is Bulldogger JK says. So for Bluegrass, the tone would need to be a B tone on every instrument. That makes sense. Tell me about the B. I feel like there's some music theory afoot here. So there's a B is what, the third in a G, if you're playing in the key of G. B is the sixth minor, right, of a D. Da, 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 da. Daniel got it. The D28, which I would have thought that most people want the D28 but would have gotten a D18, but no, the D28 outsold. All right, okay, so Daniel, I owe you a shirt, a hat. Ooh. A shirt or a hat, or I'll give you some swag, or I'll find something in the studio, or I'll just bring something to you when I see you next month. Anyway, Daniel's a winner. Chicken dinner. There's another one. There's another trivia question I wanted to do, a third one. Where'd it go? My brain is like a rock skipping across water right now. Can you hear that bluegrass by me? Boom, boom, beam, boom, boom, beam, boom. We capo to be on every okay, because I heard there's a joke I've heard a couple times today, which is the in B something Bill Monroe. Yeah, they're all in B. So what is that? Capo 3? No, capo 4 will put you in B if you're playing in G. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, it's D28 is the most prolific selling guitar of all time. I always thought it would have been a D18. Oh my gosh, there was a third trivia question. It is gone. I can't remember it. It'll come back to me, maybe, or it won't. I don't know. Does sound like polka back here. What key are they playing in? I'll be right back. I'll look. They're playing in G. And there's a lefty banjo player, which trying to figure out what key, looking at a banjo, and they're left-handed. But anyway, hey, Howard's here. A D28 Modern Deluxe Beaker Dabs. That's awesome. That's a great guitar. Yeah, I think I'm going to go back by the Martin booth here in a minute. Oh, I didn't finish talking about that. There's a third trivia question I can't remember. It came to my mind. It might come back. But I'll keep walking you through. And there will be a video about this. And then feel free to ask me questions along the way. Pre-war guitars are great. Ooh. That's a great. There's a guy in like a rhinestone suit. And he's got a big pickguard 28 that looks excellent. Okay, as you come down, that's how I got to Tone Traveler and these guys. And then there's a booth back here that's been playing music most of the day. There's a whole Virginia section. It's like Virginia's for music lovers. And so there's a cool section all back here. And they're playing a bunch of music. And I've seen so many people that watch the channel. So many people, it's interesting. So many people have said, oh, I recognize your voice. Like people will hear my voice and then they come over and say, hey, and it's so cool and so fun. It's incredibly humbling. And I'm just super thankful for that. Now, the other thing that is going on, there's a company, I think they're connected to pre-war guitars, but there's a company, I think it's called the Old Case Company or something, but they're building proper replica cases, like reissue style cases from the 1930s or so. And I'm going to hold this microphone. Is this noisy if I hold it? That might be easier so I can lean back because this seat is uncomfortable. It's trade show life. I've been like wandering around just walking and walking and walking. But the guitar cases are actually really awesome and it's been really fun. That's where I ran into Jake Eddy yesterday, which Jake is hilarious. If you guys follow him, he's so fun and he has so much energy and he plays guitar at 300 beats per minute. He's death metal in major keys on an acoustic guitar. But he's amazing. There's also a lot of builders that I don't know offhand that it's really interesting getting to know and kind of see these guitar builders. I don't even know their names. There's Altman Guitars. I've never seen them before. There's a D'Addario booth. I got to see Andy Pitcher. So Andy was in a video with me at Sweetwater a couple years ago when we made a guitar, or when we, he used to work for Stringjoy, and when he was with Stringjoy, we made a video about all the weird stuff that they were doing with guitars. Sorry, with guitar strings. So I got to hang out with him, and then got to go to Bourgeois, and it sounds like there's going to be some really fun stuff. I think in the next couple weeks, I'm going to get to borrow a couple of the Bourgeois Touchstone guitars, which these are incredibly well-made guitars. The top and the braces are put on, and it's all voiced by Dana and the Bourgeois team in Lewiston, and then they all get vacuum packed and sent to China. And in the Eastman plant, they get hired by the best builders in the Eastman factory, and they make them. But what's crazy is they're using the same woods, same grades as their American-made stuff. And they've produced a guitar that is made in China and is absolutely, it's shocking. Like they are as good as, they really are as good feeling and sounding and playing and looking as an American-made Bourgeois. And it's really hard to tell a difference. So, are any of them... Did you see the Super D at the Martin stand? I don't think they have one. I'll have to go check. If they have one, I didn't see one yesterday. They just had kind of the normal heavy hitters of Bluegrass, you know. So I'll go over and check again and see if they have a Super D. A Super D! I just want to play Tenacious D on it, if I'm honest. And are any of them better than my D41, your old Custom Shop D42? My Custom Shop D42 is a freaking stunner. I just wish that I would have $4,000 that well, that's how much I paid for that guitar. I wish I would have, I don't think I told anyone how much I paid that guitar. I just wasn't able to keep it because it's just too much money to ask my family to go without for me to keep a guitar. Oh, here we go. So, where'd it go? So Tom's question, would anyone want a Chinese Bourgeois? Yeah, they've sold plenty of them. They've done really well. So why would anyone want an American? Okay. Why would anyone want an American Bourgeois? They're still better in some ways. Right now, they're only doing Alaskan spruce. In the Touchstone, they're only doing Alaskan spruce. They're not doing like full-on Adirondack spruce. And they're only doing East Indian rosewood. They're not doing Guatemalan or Madagascar or Zircota or any of the other crazy woods. Bourgeois still has no problem making guitars in the $15,000 range. There's still a couple over there that are... There's one called the Nova. It's like a smaller dreadnought. What do they call it? An ergonomic dreadnought. And so it's thinner, has an oval sound hole. I think they're asking $16,000 for it. So Bourgeois still... They still are making excellent guitars. Now, I think... If they would make their Banjo Killer or the what do they call it, the Country Boy, if they'd make a slope shoulder in the Touchstone, sign me up. That's a guitar I would buy in a freaking heartbeat. So I think the only people that are really going to be that upset by how good these import Bourgeois are, number one, I think people are going to be upset if they already own a Bourgeois. And number two, I think they're going to be upset that guitar made in China still has Bourgeois, has the same headstock. Has the same headstock, same binding, same options, same specs, same everything, same joint for the neck as a $9,000 Bourgeois from a couple of years ago. So maybe it's a gamble, but it's super, super interesting to me. Ooh, this is a good question. So Jonathan says, any estimation on the completion date for the Showalter build? Great video series. That has been such a fun thing to do, minus a couple days this week and where I made a huge mistake and I sanded through the guitar, sanded through the side. It's embarrassing, it's annoying, it's frustrating. I think we only actually lost about 1 day on it. But yeah, so the completion date should be in the next couple weeks. We're in the real home stretch. This week, by the time I left 2 days ago, we had shaped the neck. We shaped the neck, oiled the fingerboard, started cutting the nut, Steve was going to do final shaping and contouring on the heel of the neck. And we'd finish the patch on the side from me being an idiot sending through the side of the guitar. So, So I think it'll be the next couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. It'll be a total done. And, So the next thing coming up is a lot of people are walking by and they're looking at me because I'm Jig Jam. This is just an empty booth. I don't know who this is. I just sat down here to eat some M&Ms and I was like, I'll do a live show because it's about 2 o'clock. A couple weeks on the Showalter. Which sentence didn't I finish? I don't finish a lot of sentences. One day, my brain will work at 100%, and I will complete the sentences that I start, and I will follow up on the thoughts that come to me while I'm speaking. But until then, thank you for your kindness and your forgiveness. It's hard to not be distracted because there are so many people walking by. I'm sure you see people walking by. And you can kind of see through the band playing back there behind me. But, yeah. Oh, Revelry says, I just picked up a Waterloo Jumbo Deluxe. Damn, thank you for turning me on to Waterloo. That's an excellent guitar. That's so good. Chris says, Grandpa got a D2832, so that's a Martin Shenandoah. Great guitar, made in Japan. So a similar endeavor to what Bourgeois and the Touchstone series is trying to do is to bring together skilled craftsmen from around the world, but to figure out a way to make them a little more affordable and a little more approachable for other people. I mean, keep in mind, the Touchstones are still $2,800, $3,000. I mean, they're still expensive. So, anyway, but yeah. So the Showalter or the Shenandoahs are great guitars. That's awesome. The Super D is modeled after a D38 D45S. That's awesome. I've been trying to see one. I've got a Martin Streetmaster is coming to me from Sweetwater. They're giving me that in exchange for a couple of videos that we're going to do. So I've got 3 new guitars to do demos on next week. And so it'll be fun. Ooh, there's some loud stuff happening over here. I hear some stomping. Some feet touching ground. But I probably should go before too long. For the price, I'd prefer a basic Showalter guitar. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean the Showalter's at $2,750. That's the new price. That's the raised price. It's still lower than other stuff. There are 2 guitars that Steve has completed since I've been working on mine. 3 technically if you count Joyce's. But there are 2, serial number 110 and serial number 111, that are exceptional. One is Cherry. The other is Red Elm. Both are unbelievable. The Red Elm sounds like an East Indian Rosewood, but it's a little more, not as bassy, but it's an excellent guitar. The other one is a Cherry back and sides, which if I hadn't already built mine, it would be one that I would really, really be after. Beautiful Cherry Sycamore top. Yeah, or maybe it's I can't remember. Oh, Staley says, Jeremy, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you. That means a lot. I know I've been working as hard as I can work for the last couple of years, but in the last couple of months I've turned it up. I didn't know I had more gas in the tank, but I'm working as hard as I know how to work to help people find the right guitars. What's up, man?
So, are you guys playing again?
So I'm just sitting here.
No, I mean, are there going to be any more shows?
I'm not with Jig Jam. I'm just sitting here.
I'll just look it up.
Cool. So that's actually Chris's. That's Northfield Mandolin's card.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, sorry. It's. Oh, all right.
The good card.
There you go. A lot of people. I should get out of here. People are asking me questions. I'm sitting in a booth of a band who's not here, so I probably should go. But yeah. Yes. Okay. So we'll close it with this. So if I was going to buy a boutique guitar, Ferris is the best I've played yet. Really consistent. they're just down here. I've been meaning to go talk to them. There wasn't anyone there at the booth earlier, but there is somebody there now. So I'm going to head down to Ferris, and then I think I'm going to hit the road and head back home because the storm is definitely coming. And, I mean, I'm going to drive through the rain the whole way, but I don't want to drive through hard driving rain the whole time. So anyway, this has been a super fun live show. Thanks for being gracious and going along for the ride with me as we've done this. So anyway, so Tech says you'll be glad with the Osage Orange Showalter instead of the Cherry. I think so. It's going to be an excellent guitar. I'm really excited. Also, you have to see the fix that we had. So anyway, thanks for watching. A couple things. Number one, make sure you subscribed. We looked through my analytics the other day. 81% of people who watch my YouTube channel are not subscribed, which I know a lot of you are that are watching this. But make sure you subscribed. Make sure you hit the bell down below. I'm saying the thing that every single YouTuber says. But the other thing is we're selling shirts. We're selling the guitars the guitars make us better shirts. There's a link in the description down below. Buy one of those. They're going to be ordered and they're all going to ship by the end of next week. And so yeah, this is I'm super excited about those. And check out the merch. All the merch is back in stock. Big boys all the way down to the tiny little shirts. So yeah. I didn't need a sound port, that's true. I made a sound port and then I covered it with a patch. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. I'm Jeremy, I'm the Guitar Hunter. Bye everybody.